Good morning and welcome to Coffee and Conversations. This is something we plan to do on the first Saturday of the month, every month going forward. Is your opportunity to have a conversation and bring your questions to the What Now movement team. We're going to go ahead and get this party started. So I'm the host. As you see, Maisha in the party mood there. Let's get this started. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs. I am the president of the What Now movement. I'm also the author of The Discipline of Now, 12 Practical Principles to Overcome Procrastination. And I'm the host of the 30-Minute Hour podcast. And I'll allow my partners in crime here to introduce themselves. We'll start with Dr. Sharon H. Porter.
Hey, great morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Sharon H. Porter, also known as Dr. Sharon. I am editor. First of all, I am vice president of Wnm and the What Now movement and chief communications officer. So excited that you are here with us. In addition to that role, I'm editor-in-chief of Vision and Purpose Lifestyle magazine, CEO and owner of Perfect Time, SHP Publishing, as well as SHP Media and Broadcasting. So excited that you're here and can't wait to join in the conversation.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. Sharon. Maisha?
Hi, everyone. I am Maisha Hoy, B. Hoy. I am the marketing director for the What Now movement. I work directly with Dr. Sharon. I'm not sure how you see her. I'm also the founder of my own marketing company, Customer First Marketing, and I've now dabbled into e-commerce with www.qbob.com. Happy to be here, and hopefully you all will be too.
Great. And also Ted Fells will be joining us here at any minute. He had to step into another meeting, but Ted is the vice president of all things strategy. And I give him a title of the vice president of names. If someone needs a name or a title, if you got an entity and you're trying to get it named and out there, he can just stop, think, come up with that name, and there you have it. That's Ted Fells. He's also the co-host on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. So when he comes online, you will know everything about him. All right. So that's a little bit about us. We also have Dawn Bornheimer, who's on travel, and she is our chief movement officer. You've seen many of Dawn's engaging posts within the movement. So she is all things movement for the What Now movement. So definitely, if you're looking, we'll talk more about this later. If you're looking to get more involved in the What Now movement, Dawn would be the person to contact, and she can help you to get moving and take it from there. So that's us. And for the benefit, I know many of you have been following us for quite some time. You've been part of the movement, but the good news is that we're constantly adding new members to this movement. And I want to make sure that everybody understands the backstory as far as how we got to this point. Let's go back in time. Let's roll the clock back. It was around March of 2020, and myself and Ted Fells, we were planning to work with Dr. Sharon. So we said, man, Dr. Sharon is doing all these great things. We should partner with Dr. Sharon. We can do these summits, and we'll get everybody in this big auditorium. It'll be great. It'll be excellent. Everybody we'll just crowd all these people in the room. It'll be a great time. Well, as we know, that's right when the pandemic started. And so we literally looked at each other and said, okay, what now? We can't meet in person anymore. So what now? What are we going to do? And then we started talking to people in our different circles who had ventures they had planned. Maybe it was a book, maybe it was a business, maybe it was something else. They had these ventures, they had plans for these ventures, but they were saying to us, you know what? I'm going to wait until things get back to normal. And we were saying that's the last thing that people should want to do, right? You should really be asking yourself, what now? And that's when all the light bulbs went off, and we decided that we should partner and join or form the What Now movement. And the whole mission of the movement is to inspire people to pivot instead of stop. You know how when you face a crisis, it's easy to stop. When you face a struggle, it's easy to stop. When you face a failure, it's easy to just stop. But that's the last thing you want to do. So we want to inspire you to pivot, because this isn't going to be the only thing, right? The pandemic is going to be a thing of the past at some point. There's going to be something else. And our goal is to inspire you to pivot instead of stop. And that's really how we came together to form the What Now movement. And here we are. I mean, as of now, we've got 1,650 plus people that are actually in the group. We got entrepreneurs, executive leaders, different career professionals, authors, to continue to focus on pivoting. And it's interesting is during this time, if you talk, because we started the movement like around that April, and since then we've done 2 virtual summits. We've done a What Now University, where we had 7 different instructors do a master class on their topic of expertise, anywhere from doing business with the federal government to getting your look, light, and mic right for the virtual game. We had 7 different topics. We've been featured on the cover of this awesome magazine called Vision and Purpose, VNP magazine. And we've started Wnm Ventures. So with Wnm Ventures, we are now reaching out to federal government and other private industry businesses. So with the focus of Wnm Ventures is to provide management consulting, education, professional development type services to these business entities. And the good news is, through our relationships within the What Now movement, we've got subject matter experts from all over the world who can help us to service these federal government and private industry businesses. Quite a few accomplishments over the past year and a half or so, and more to come. And partners, anything you wanted to add to our accomplishments or anything we've said up to this point?
Well, Eric, I'll start. I think that you have the term out there, or the phrase out there that says "practice what you preach," and I think that what we have done is we've really strived to practice what we preach. And when you think about the accomplishments of the What Now movement group, you ran off a long list of things that we did, and most of those things, if not 100% of those things, we did virtually. We did from our homes. And so, you can be, creative and innovative and using virtual platforms in order to get things that you want to get accomplished. But you first have to have in the mindset of, we got to make it happen, and regardless of the fact that we can't get together face to face, and regardless of the fact that there is a pandemic, you have to use what you have available to you to move forward. And so again, that's something that we've done, and that we'll continue to do, and then do all we can to assist our members to be able to maximize.
No, great points. You're right. We did have to practice what we
appreciate that.
Have to practice what we preached. I mean, even if you look at our podcast here, the 30-minute hour, right? You and I, we were doing the podcast from your office. This is how we did it. We met at his office. We were in this nice conference room. And then when the pandemic came, his office was closed. We couldn't be in person. We were forced to pivot. we had to start doing it virtually, and it ended up being a game changer, right? Because now we started doing it live from Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time, but that would have never happened if we had just stayed inside the box, or if we said, you know what, we're going to stop podcasting and we're going to wait until things get back to normal.
Well, one other thing there, Eric, is had we continued doing it that way, we eventually would have ran out of friends to interview. So because we were able to do it and we were able to open it up, I mean, we've had guests from all over the world and people that joined us that we probably would not have been able to connect with had things continued the way they were. So, the pandemic was definitely tough on everyone, right? In one way or another, and so we don't want to take light of that. But there was opportunity also that was created through that pandemic.
Absolutely, yeah. Prior to the pandemic, all the guests of the 30-minute hour, they either graduated from Hampton University, graduated from Norfolk State. They were either a member of Omega Psi Phi or they were a member of Kappa Alpha Psi.
or they were your cousin.
Right.
It could be your cousin or your cousin.
Their last name was Twigs or Fells.
we was running low on that, Maisha. We was running low. Every week, Eric would be like, "You got someone?"
And that's how I became part of the What Now movement. I did a marketing Monday, and I'm still here. And I think that's one of the big accomplishments that after we just found out you've been over a year, that the movement is still here, still growing, still getting people in, still getting people engaged. I mean, a lot of companies start and don't finish. They don't get out their first year. So you need to be congratulated. We need to be congratulated for that as well.
Yeah, and I would also say the innovation that, because with the pivot came innovation. And so you talked about coming out of the box, right? And so we've done that, with the summits, with the things that are upcoming and all of the things that we have planned for the What Now movement and Wnm Ventures. So I think that's all exciting for those who are listening and joining us in our journey.
Yeah, I think the biggest innovation, I keep telling the founders that if we could pull this together, where we bring hundreds of businesses together for a collective mission of growing our revenues together.
Yes.
If we could do that, this is going to be so powerful. We're going to be like laughing at where we are today.
Right. Absolutely.
And again, so we're not just sharing this success to brag, right? We're sharing this because hopefully as you're watching, you're thinking of different ways that you can be innovative, different ways that you can pivot, different ways that you can take the next steps and move forward to that dream, that goal, that mission that's calling you. That's the way to look at this. Our theme for today, this is Coffee and Conversation. Like I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to be doing this the first Saturday of every month, is what's next? What's next? That's really the theme for this Saturday. What's next? And it's not just what's next as it relates to the movement, but what's next as it relates to this world. And I think this would be a good time for us to talk about this, have conversation on this, because people say, yeah, I want things to get back to normal. And I'm thinking of this back to normal. Like what's next for back to normal?
Yeah,
that's my question. I'm going to throw that out there to my partners. Ted, what's next for back to normal?
There's normal as we know it has totally changed. It's totally changed. I mean, there was a time when as an employee, you're looking for job opportunities and you're thinking, man, I want to find the right pay, and it would be good to have a couple days to work from home. I'm going to ask for much. Let me get every Friday off, right? You may try to factor that in. If they say, nope, we don't have that, then it's okay. If the money's right, then that's good. Now it's, I need my money and I want to work from home. And if not, I'm going to be able to find a place to do it.
Right.
And so as employers, we have to know that, we have to be able to have those types of options available if we want to be able to capture and retain the top talent. But then the good side of that is as employers, it's also opened up our talent pool, right? So it's not just people that are right in the area. If you're in the DC area or Atlanta, whatever, you could have someone from Idaho that could be a part of your organization that brings, capability, knowledge, and just working out of different places to your company. So there's a lot of things that go into that. So this new situation, this new environment, this new normal, it has a lot of possibilities to it. And now you have to be flexible. If you were used to having, going down the hallway and touching all your employees, those days have changed.
Yeah. And I think it's evident also with the ways, what's happening now. Companies are getting rid of the leases and the rentals of businesses. There are actually shortages in companies right now. People can't even find people to hire because nobody really wants to do that, what they used to do. And I'm really thinking of the educational space. Number one, there's shortages all around: teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria. Nobody wants to do that anymore. And so it is causing havoc to the normal corporate space because people have found this new normal and they love it. So, and it's evident that the global supply chain, there's a shortage. We don't know if we're going to get things for the holidays because they are not workers to deliver them. So it's all around. People are shifting and enjoying this new normal.
And I think one of the things and why the group has grown so is people are using their passion to create a business, or their passion is becoming the beginning and the end of their lives. And they're like, I don't want to waste time working, so to speak. I want to find something that helps me, that helps others. There's a lot of passionate people in our group helping a lot of people. So I think the passion piece is becoming a big piece. So if you want to hire someone, you have to inspire them before they even get to the interview, because they're no longer saying, I just need a job, just want a job.
Yeah, it's interesting. These are great points. I saw something. We all know about this thing, the Great Resignation. That's what they're calling this. People are leaving their jobs now at a greater rate or higher rate than ever in history. Well, I saw a survey. I was watching it on CBS. They did a survey of this group that just resigned and left their job. And here's what they found. They found that 50% of the people who left their positions reported that they may have stayed if their supervisor would have handled their resignation differently. So what that said to me is that we need to really rethink how the culture in your company. We need to rethink our pay plans. We need to rethink a lot of things as far as how we've done business in the past. I think if you're going to business like it's 2019, you're set up for problems.
And I know I'm always thinking sales and marketing, but anyone out there wants the Wnm Ventures to come in and help them with the leadership and development in your company, we're ready. Contact us.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Maisha. Look at us as that team that you can strategize with, that you can brainstorm with, virtually. We're not gonna come to your office, but we'll send you a link. We'll send you a link and we can have a conversation with you and bounce some ideas around. And, I think that, again, just the possibilities, are endless. But if you need a team, we're your virtual team. So please, consider that.
Yeah, I just think in times past, you could get away with being a bad boss, right? You had the leverage. But in today's climate, no, it's not gonna work, because that person is one touch of their phone away from leaving you.
And know that you can go elsewhere and get a better place to work. And it's funny that you're talking, because working from home, I've always worked from home for the last 10 years, but it's different. I hear people complaining like, oh my gosh, I just want to drop my child off to school. But it's a different environment, and being ready for it and us being there for these people is very important, I think, to our mission.
Absolutely.
But when you think about everything that's happened, though, if you ever just like sit back and think, man, this is really wild. Like the whole environment was just shaken, just like it seems like almost overnight. Like, things like teleworking have been talked about for years. Like a lot of these platforms that are in place, we think, oh, Zoom and Teams and all these things have been around for years. And then for there to be a situation which is unprecedented where employers were like, okay, go home tomorrow and we don't know when you're going to come back. And some that have been doing teleworking, like a person like you, Maisha, that have been doing things a certain way, like it didn't change your game much because like, okay, this is what I've been doing. I've been kind of virtual. I've been using virtual and, probably conducting a lot of meetings virtual to everyone now just being like, okay, how do I do this? And then if you think about it, it was probably really tough for organizations and individuals for those first couple weeks and first couple months. And then after a couple months, close to a year, they figured it out. And then you have some organizations that are like, okay, we're going to be opening the doors back up. And people are like, oh, no, you're not. I'm not coming back up in there. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. Now, they've been to all type of family events and sports events and things like that, but they don't feel comfortable coming back into the office, which means, no, I've been able to do it here, right? My conference room is my dining room table, right? I've been able to be there and be effective. Why would I want to go back into driving and parking and dry cleaning and all of that kind of stuff when I can do it from here, save money, right? And then I would also think that, once you figured out how to deal with any of the internal stressors, I guess, with being in the house with your family all day, like once you figure that out, it's probably like, hey, it's probably a lot less stressful than driving to a location and, being in, some other office for 8-10 hours a day. So,
I want to add on to that, Ted. You mentioned how, people stop, just want to work from home. But we know that had a ripple effect from, the other different organizations, such as restaurants and things of that nature. And so they had to make a major shift and pivot. We talked to in our first event that we had restaurant owners that now had to come up with other ways because people were not coming into the restaurant. They had to really do that pivot and make takeout part of what they do now. That was all of their things. Some even went to cooking on Zoom, showing people how to make dishes and things. So it affected everyone in different ways. And so I just wanted to touch on that as we are doing that. I'm thinking about downtown DC, how many restaurants had to actually close their doors because of the volume of people decreased so much. And so even those people have to say, what now? I had a restaurant full of people at lunchtime for years, and now I have no one. So we even help those individuals turn around and say, okay, what can I do differently? So it really hit on all angles. So I just wanted to add that.
I was just thinking, Ted, we need a chief pivot officer because, but think about it. We have been through COVID, and there's going to be something else that affects your business that you don't see coming. So putting a pivot strategy in place may be something we all need to think about and do, because who knows we didn't know, and we still don't know. Right. So yeah, I'm thinking I just wrote it down. I'll add it to my marketing messages. We'll be your chief pivot officer.
No, that's a great point, Dr. Sharon and Maisha, that you have to figure that out. And, restaurants, they're starting to, people are starting to feel comfortable going back into some of them. But again, I think dealing with this, I think we're all just used to just doing things the way we do it all the time. Yeah. And we were all forced to think about something, and look at how we can make it better and leverage what we have. I mean, I think the one business that didn't get impacted by this at all seems like, and Eric and I talk about this all the time, is Chick-fil-A. I mean, they took everything outside. They were running just as efficiently, and you just can't go in the bathroom there. You got to wait till you get home. But other than that, everything else they've gotten figured out.
Chick-fil-A is a model of efficiency. I don't know if it happened in DC, but Philly, we used it for our COVID lines. How do we get people in and out? The vaccination lines that we had. So yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a great example of a pivot. They made it. I don't care which Chick-fil-A you go to, it's the same thing. I mean, the line could be out in the street. 3 minutes later, you're eating your chicken sandwich. I'm trying to figure that thing out. Like, how do they do that at every location?
That's right.
And they're not open on Sundays.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they stuck to their values on that. I mean, That's been their thing for years. So
I have to find a Chick-fil-A case study for us to study.
Oh yeah. It's they're definitely the model of efficiency at any of them that you see.
And then, so I know that we've got quite a few speakers, authors, people in that lane. I think it's important to understand that I don't care how many people get vaccinated and how the numbers go down. I think the virtual is still going to be part of how we do business.
Yeah.
And I think in the beginning, people were more forgiving if you were making little mistakes. Like if your audio wasn't good, your lighting wasn't right, those types of things. But I think the expectations are increasing now.
Eric, I don't know. We're always gonna have issues with being on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you. Like even to this day, like we're never gonna get that mute thing figured out. That's just gonna be.
No, I was on a meeting and somebody was talking and they were on mute, and I'm like, "Hey, you're on mute. We can't hear you." The only problem was I was still on mute, so he couldn't hear me telling him that.
Oh man!
We should do the mute face. What?
Right.
Maybe that's what they need. There needs to be like a universal kind of sign for people to know. Like if we're like if everybody's doing this, you should know that means yeah, I'm on mute. So maybe we can start that. So you need to be looking at the screen. If you're just going and going and going, and everybody's looking at you like. You're on mute. We didn't hear any of those great points that you just made.
But now, so it's interesting. We're talking about stepping up your virtual game. We did that masterclass with Valanda Calloway, and she is an actual reporter down in Raleigh, North Carolina, and she gave some outstanding tips on what colors to wear, what colors to avoid, what type of microphone to get, how to get your lighting right. A lot of those little details that the pros in the game all know. Dr. Sharon, I know she's a personal friend of yours. Anything you wanted to add to that?
Oh no, and her book, which she did her session off of her book, and actually it's been over a year, which we were both saying like, wow. So I guess everything's been over a year because of COVID. That's everybody's
the fastest year ever.
Exactly. But yes, and how it's so. I mean, it continues to be relevant. The information that she shared, and so. It just goes to show you that you definitely, when you hold on to this information, because when we choose the topics that we're choosing for whatever we're doing, we want it to be timely and relevant and something that you can actually use, like get off there and use that information. Mm-hmm. And that's what we were able to do with that whole session in the whole university. Everyone was timely. So I just want to, just shout out Valanda because she made a pivot. I don't know if you know her backstory, but she made a pivot within herself after leaving one of the stations in the Raleigh area, and is now doing phenomenal things as an independent reporter consultant out there. So she's made her way. And that's what you have to do. You cannot stop. And you talked about that, Eric. When challenges and barriers are facing you, you got to find a way to navigate those. And so that's really what this is all about. How do we get through it and move on and past it? So
I think about get your mic look right every time I get ready for a Zoom. So today I will have the right colors because I'm representing WM, but I think about it all the time.
Exactly.
That one and the date your bank from Linda McNair.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, look, let me go to my bank. Well, I couldn't. Right. I'm starting a new account. And my first thing was, I'm going in. I'm going to have that person know me. We're going to talk about my business. We're going to talk about where I want to go. I am dating my bank now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just think it was, we've just been able to provide a lot of great content that if you weren't able to participate, go back and look at some of that stuff, because there were experts, subject matter experts in a lot of areas that have shared nuggets for free, or if not free, very low cost.
Free to you.
Right.
Not only free,
wasn't free to us, but free to you. No, but definitely take advantage of that information.
It won't be free in 2022.
That's right.
Go back now.
We a business. We in business too.
But the good news is that the people we just mentioned, they're all part of the movement.
Yes.
So you have real world examples of people who are pivoting. Even if you go back to what we're talking about with virtual and how to get your lights, Valanda Calloway is in the movement. You can literally tag her. If you're in the group, you can tag Valanda Calloway and she can respond to you. And you can find out how she's doing what she does. And you can go into the media section on the Facebook page and see her. I'll talk about the theme days a little later, but she did one of the theme days, and she talked about the thing about the lighting and her book and everything else. You can literally go in that media section, go into videos, you can type in Valanda Calloway and get to that. But so a lot of resources. So we're talking about this whole hybrid versus virtual world. So Ted, you and I, we were talking about, even as you're networking and going to networking events, how do you think that's going to be impacted?
Networking events. I'm going to probably one of my first networking events tomorrow in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So I will be there from Sunday to Tuesday, and I'm just kind of thinking, like, what is that gonna be like? So one of the first changes that they required us to send a copy of our vaccination. And they required us to show proof of vaccination as a part of the registration. Okay, so then when you get there, there's going to be people wearing masks, some wearing masks, some not wearing masks, and trying to have conversations at happy hours and all of that. That's going to be interesting to see. Are you shaking hands? Are you doing this? Are you doing this? I mean, all of that's going to be stuff that that's going to be interesting just to see how that goes. But then I've talked to some of the people that are going, and a lot of people are just not so much even thinking about it so much from a business standpoint. I mean, everyone like to do some business, right? But I think a lot of people are just like, they just want to get out and get around people and do something that they used to do. And they're just going there more to I think we're just, we're like, look, we're just not going to give up that, right? So I just think that it's going to be interesting just watching how the engagement goes, during this event. And so I just think that networking events is just, you're gonna have to look at that, find ways to make that, attractive. I still think that you're gonna have to do, a hybrid approach. I think the virtual networking events are still going to be there, but then there's those again that want to be, face to face, and I'm sure a lot of the conference planners and all of that, I'm sure they're excited about those things opening up to some degree, because that impacted a lot of those businesses. It impacted a lot of the hospitality, hotel industry. I mean, conference centers. I mean, a lot of those folks were just totally dependent on those types of events.
Yeah, that whole game has changed. I know at quite a few of these networking events, they'll they'll do like the colored armbands now, right? So you have green, yellow, and red. So green means you can run up and give me a bear hug. Yellow means you can give me a fist bump. Red means you need to stay with it. You need to stay 6 feet away from me.
I don't care how happy you are to see me. Stay away. Stay away. Don't even ask.
I think that's the fun part. It's because you go to these networking events to meet new people, or at least I do, and then I see someone that I know, and I'm like, hugs, and I'm like, oh, wait, are you vaccinated? 6 feet away, but you got to really think it through. I'm going to a women in business event next week. And I'm like, okay, just be intentional, think about it, and how you want to proceed, because it is going to be a little different after being in the house, not talking to people in person for a couple of years.
Absolutely. You just anticipate that it's going to be different. You may feel awkward. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm playing that rock, paper, scissors game with people. We don't we don't know what to do. I don't know if shake your hand, hug you. I don't know if you're not, so you have to anticipate that it may feel a little awkward as you're transitioning back.
You may be doing the what was it kid and play that used to do that, like kick step. That might be the thing. You step back, forward. That's about it. Hey, what's going on? Kick forward, and that might be about the extent of it. So I'll definitely report on how it went when I get back.
Yeah, the good thing is, at least with the mask, and people say, "Hey," you're like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you with your mask on." Sorry.
This kind of changed the subject a little bit, but I think it's one of the most interesting things. Did you ever think about kind of the whole thing that we do with the restaurants and masks? When it's kind of like, you wear your mask in the restaurant, but then when you're eating,
when all the air is coming back,
when you're eating, you have to take it off. Now, really, that you wear your mask in the restaurant, and after that you take it off because people they don't have it on anymore. You just wonder, how does that work? Like, are we any safer?
Yeah.
Just thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. One of those things with this next normal. Again, I don't think it's a new normal. It's just kind of the next normal, and it kind of goes back to what we're saying about hybrid versus virtual. We just need to be prepared and just kind of make the adjustments. But the bottom line, I think it boils down to mindset. And we have examples within the movement that in 2020, they had their best years ever. Yeah. When people were crying and going crazy, they were profiting. So it's mindset. Certain people are going to win. Certain people are going to pivot. Certain people are going to find a way to win. And that's what we hope to inspire through this movement. Anybody have anything else they want to add before we talk about what's next in the movement?
No, let's go.
All right. It's exciting. I know people are just on the edge of their seat. Twigs, I can't wait to hear what's next in the What Now movement.
What's next, man? What's next? Come on.
What's next, Eric? What's next?
All right. Since you asked, I'll go ahead and talk about what's next. So we're doing the motivation days, right? This is Maisha's favorite, by the way. Each day having a theme day, right? And we use alliteration. So Monday is motivational or marketing Monday. Tuesday is time management or technology Tuesday. Wednesday is wellness Wednesday. Thursday is thankful or thought leadership Thursday. And then Friday is either fitness or financial Friday. Okay, so that's what's next. But we need for you who are in the movement, who are thinking of joining the movement, to sign up to do one of those days. So here's what's involved on each of those days. So you come online within the What Now movement group and you talk for 10 or 15 minutes on your area of expertise. And so if it's Motivational Monday, if your topic, you're a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, you come on for 10 to 15 minutes and you give motivational tips. But it also gives you exposure to the 1,650 plus. And also, by the way, we're taking those videos, and we'll be putting them on our YouTube page. So you just never know how far it'll go. So it's a great opportunity for you to expose your brand. And so, for example, we have quite a few podcast hosts that are in the movement. And I'm noticing a weird trend, Ted. I'm noticing a trend of people who do the Motivational Monday or Thought Leadership Thursday. They end up as guests on these different people's show. So what happens is these podcast hosts see them doing one of these motivational days and think, oh, wow, they would be a great guest for my show. So it's a great way to get yourself out there and to inspire people in the movement to pivot. Anybody have any thoughts on that?
No. No, I think you hit it. No.
I want people to sign up. I'm trying to do our monthly, or I guess twice a month newsletter. And sometimes y'all sign up too fast. I can't get it out. So if you want to do some promotion, if you want to have some promotion, try to sign up today so I can get it on my calendar for the next newsletter, and we can help you promote it to all of our people in our email list, as well as our group. So think of it as a promotion opportunity for you, not just a chance to talk to our group. Sign up now for later.
No, Eric, I do have something I want to share on what you just said, and I just wanted to say that you were spot on.
Thank you.
You were spot on.
That's the new term in the virtual world. You're spot on.
You're spot on.
Excellent. So there's all kinds of links in the comments section for you to sign up for one of the What Now movement days, What Now Motivate days, and there's somebody, you're watching me right now. I know you. I know your expertise. You've been on the 30-minute hour. I've seen you on other shows. So I will be calling on you.
Don't try to log off all fast. Don't try to disconnect. We see you.
Don't think you.
Find you.
That's right. We'll find you. And so I'm going to be tapping you on the shoulder in the coming days to invite you to present on one of these motivational days. So, and again, you just have to remember, you just never know who's watching, and that one person can really be a game changer. Dr. Sharon?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Genesis added Wisdom Wednesday. So in addition to Wellness Wednesday, we can also have Wisdom Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Genesis, for more alliteration days.
Hey, Wisdom Wednesday works for me. In all seriousness, though, if you have other suggestions like that,
right,
you can put them in the comment section. You can also email us, whatnowmovement@gmail.com, and certainly we'll take your ideas into consideration.
We pivot 100% of the time, so no problem. Wisdom Wednesday. Sign up, Genesis. We'll get you on. For 2 weeks later, my next newsletter doesn't come out for 2 weeks later, so sign up. 2 weeks from
this is a suggestion box that we actually do. Open up the lid and read the suggestions and consider them. So please, all your comments and thoughts, definitely use one of the methods that Eric presented.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep,
at least we know who our first. Wait, Dr. Sharon.
No, I said she has Thursdays too to go along with our Thought Leadership and Thankful Thursday, which is Think Tank, which definitely goes along right with our Thought Leadership, and she has Thought Provoking Thursday. So
I think she's taking over Ted's job with the name.
Right, I love it.
It's always room for more.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you, Genesis.
Now, we definitely appreciate all of your engagement and input, Genesis, within the What Now movement group. And so we've talked about the What Now motivation days. So next is subject matter expert partners. So we'll be reaching out to you, similar to my previous comments, because with Wnm Ventures, we're actively engaging federal government and private industry businesses provide professional development services like leadership training, time management training, management consulting, educational training services, curriculum design, those types of things. So we'll need to reach out to even more subject matter experts in those areas. So be prepared. I mean, this is an opportunity, and we, like I said, we're constantly engaging with these different entities and organizations. This is an opportunity where it could be mutual benefit, mutual gain.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ted.
Because I was like, I always say, the What Now movement is like a potluck, right? You bring a dish, right? So whatever it is that you have from a capability standpoint that you can bring to the movement, and then you can put some stuff on your plate from what everyone else is bringing to the movement. So think of it that way, that this is a community that you can get something here and that you can share something, and just a bunch of like-minded professionals that just want to engage, want to work together for the overall purpose of all of us just being successful.
Sure. No, it's a great point. And Ted, you were spot on with that comment.
Thank you. Spot on.
But that's how we're going to build Wnm Ventures along with your company. If you are a SME, you need to get involved with us right now. I don't know how many contracts that we have looked at and started to bid on in the past 2-3 months. How long have we been doing this? So if you want us to use our channel as a way to grow your revenues with almost minimum amount of effort, then you need to become a SME with us. Subject matter expert. I'm not sure if everyone knows what a SME is. Acronym.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And I'm constantly talking to entrepreneurs who are looking for ways to do business with the federal government, to get their foot in the door with the federal government, to build relationships, and we can help you with that. And the good thing is Ted has forgotten more about doing business with the government than the average person knows. So this is the right place at the right time. So we will be, and we'll have we have this already, but we'll have a bigger one, a library of subject matter experts. So as we're getting requests for this, we know that we can contact Genesis, or we can contact Michael Sherlock, or we can contact whoever. So just keep that in mind. It's what's in it for you. And it creates tons of opportunity for you.
So you can either go to our website and send us a message, and we will have a meeting with you so you can really understand what it's all about. Or we have the link in the comments, and you can sign up, and then we can have a meeting with you. So either if you want to understand more about how we work first before you sign up, which is understandable, go to our website and send us a message. Or if you just want to sign up, and we'll meet with you in the link. Either way works for us. But we want to get how many by the end of the year? I would say 50 to 100 people in our SME program.
Absolutely, 100 would be a great
number. We forgot, Mr. Twiggs.
What's that?
That's the outcome we forgot to put in our notes. We want to get more SMEs. Thank you.
There you go. We need the SMEs. We need the subject matter experts. And then also we have What Now Movement Motivators. These are people who they post content. They're doing things within the group to engage the group. Dawn Bornheimer is the chief movement officer. She's the head of all things movement. You're interested in getting a bigger role within the movement, being more visible within the movement, reach out to Dawn. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. It's a secret. You might want to lean in for this.
Dr. Sharon?
Dr. Sharon.
Leaning in, Dr. Sharon. Okay, there you go. So visibility leads to discovery. A secret. There you go. I know. It's
boy. Who knew?
It's gems like that. Get that, Genesis? It's gems like that.
But look, think about it. Anybody that got discovered, I don't care if you're a musician, business person, they were visible. They were doing something visible. They weren't sitting on the couch eating potato chips. They were doing something visible. So, being a movement person, somebody that's constantly putting content, that's just somebody else is seeing you and potentially getting exposed to your brand. So just think about that. I mean, it's a great opportunity. You don't need a million. All you really need is one person, the right person to see you that can take things to the next level. So I'm saying all this to say, I mean, this is mutual benefit. Obviously, the movement will benefit, but you personally can benefit as well. Maisha, were you about to say something?
No, I was gonna say, and I, as the marketing person, love looking at our data. So I do shout out all of the top 10 contributors to our group. And that's another way to get visibility. Just make sure you like and network and share it. And I do the same thing with our Facebook page, the pages that join. So my role is to help amplify everyone in the group in order to, I'm sorry, what did you say? Visibility gets discovered, discover gets visibility. That's what I'm trying to do there.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, visibility leads to discovery. You want to get discovered, you got to be visible. Somebody has to see you doing something. So that helps. I mean, even I've seen that even in the real networking space when you're not virtual. You know, people that are visible in these networking groups get these opportunities.
Well, I guess it ties kind of to the saying, what they say, closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Exactly.
So if you're not out there saying what you do and showing what you do, you know, the worst thing is to talk to a friend and they're like, oh yeah, I just got someone just to help me with marketing. And then Maisha's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you got someone to help you with marketing? I do marketing and I'm your best friend.
Well, no, I think the worst thing is when, and I wrote a blog about this on Maisha Lemonade's Day, when your parents don't know what you do.
No. Baby, what is it? Baby, what is it that you do with all that stuff? What is
My
it?
mom was more excited about me being on the Women Who Lead in Business show than any of the things that I've been able to accomplish.
Wow.
What? You're on a show. You're on a show.
That's right.
How do I watch? It's on a channel.
That's it. My baby, I looked on NBC. I didn't see it. I didn't see you on there. What channel was it on, baby? Was it after the news?
But you're absolutely right. I make sure all my best friends don't get all my websites, know what I'm doing. That's why I send a monthly newsletter out. So I get you. Yes.
Yeah, and that's why you definitely want to, leverage your social media platforms to talk about your businesses as well. Because you think about it, you're posting pics of your food and your feet when you're on vacation, but then you got a business and you're not posting anything about that. So you definitely want to leverage those platforms that you have at your disposal.
Yeah, and speaking of which, don't forget about Marketing Mondays. That's an opportunity to promote your business, and it's in line with everything we've been talking about. So we'll be putting a post out for Marketing Monday. Share your link, share your book, share your podcast. You just never know who's going to click that link. So that's things to be aware of. So also, in addition to all of those great things, there's another benefit as far as what's next for you. You can be featured in V&P magazine. And I'm telling you, it's just on another level. If you look at the layout of the magazine and how it's designed and the guests they've had and the featured authors, that can help to get you discovered. That can help you with that visibility. Dr. Sharon, do you want to touch more on that?
Absolutely. And with the What Now movement, the special edition that we did, we featured members. And so that's what we're looking to do again. We look for members who are doing outstanding work, engaged in the community. We had several. Genesis was one of our features. We had Dr. Pia Scott. We had Kim LaMontagne. We also had Tawanda Livingston as a feature. We featured each of the team members of the What Now movement. And we're now ready to feature another group of What Now movement members. So definitely contact us at the What Now movement at gmail.com if you're interested in being featured, and we can definitely send you the details for that. So it's exciting. It is print as well as digital.
Excellent. Yeah, I think that's something you definitely want to do. And it's another benefit. It's another what's next for the What Now movement. So as far as what's next for you and engaging with the group, I would say definitely making sure you join the What Now movement. I know we've got people that are watching us on different platforms outside of the group. Make sure that you go to the What Now movement Facebook group and click on the join button. And that way you can be exposed to this great content and have the opportunity to expose your brand and your business to the entrepreneurs and career professionals that are in the group. But also email us questions, because we want, like, starting in December, like our next coffee and conversation is going to be December 4th, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to spend a bulk of that time answering your questions. The questions you have about business, like how do I do business in the federal government? How do I start a marketing company? How do I launch a magazine? What steps do I take to write a book? All of those types of questions.
Eric, you setting us up. They've been asking us questions about something we don't know nothing about. So what we like, they be like, yeah, I'm looking at getting into construction. What y'all know about construction? No, we want some topics. And if you let us know in advance, then we can try to get you some subject matter experts on here that can talk about those topics that you have. But there are a lot of things that we do have experience in, as Eric has mentioned. I mean, just from, whether it's, writing a book, marketing, government contracting. I mean, a lot of those things we do know something about. So sure, please send some questions in and we'll let you know if we got an answer. The earlier you get us a question, the better the chance we can maybe get your question answered or get a subject matter expert on here as well. Because I think that's something we could do also on coffee and conversations. If we know in advance, maybe be able to find someone that can come on and speak about, topics of interest.
For sure. But now this is an opportunity because we want to engage with you. So definitely, please send us your questions. We'll get them answered on that December 4th. And again, even if you have comments as it relates to one of the theme days or something we should be focused on, or just an idea to help move things forward, again, go to whatnowmovement@gmail.com. Again, that's the email address, whatnowmovement@gmail.com. And so go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. I'm sorry. I thought
No, go ahead.
Finished. No,
we're see how polite we are. No. Go. No. You go. It's more important. I want you to be good.
Just to Maisha, Genesis says she's waiting for us to be a guest on her podcast, so we've got to schedule with her.
We'll get that scheduled, Genesis. Absolutely. As we'd like to be, I was getting discovered, visibility discovered. I do learn eventually. They'll tell you. Eventually, I get it.
Now, Genesis has an awesome podcast. Gems with Genesis is the name of her podcast. Ted and I had the honor of being interviewed on her show. But definitely, that's something you can take away. Genesis in the movement. Make sure you subscribe to her podcast, Gems with Genesis. And it sounds like she's going to have some future guests that we know. And it's interesting. All right. I mean, we've got a couple of minutes. If anybody has any comments or questions they want to put in the chat, we can answer them for you at this time.
And I just want to make sure everyone that has a book or product that they're selling, that they're getting ready for holiday sales. Black Friday is coming up quick. And if you're not ready, then you probably need to contact me because I'll get you ready faster. But you want to be ready, even though the shipping and everything else, a sale is a sale. So make sure you're ready for Black Friday, e-commerce, holiday sales. Oh, I just started. So I just started putting our books on the What Now movement page. So if you are a SME, I will post your book and a link on our page. I will also I guess in January, we'll start working on membership sites. So that makes sure that everyone within the group is a member, also can see your stuff, and it becomes a closer, more niche networking because we're all there for the same purpose. So definitely get involved with the What Now movement.
That's great.
Excellent. Good,
I'm excited about Coffee and Conversations. I think this is going to be a great forum each month. So definitely share it within your network. Get your other colleagues to join the movement, to check out Coffee and Conversations, and just collaborate within this community that we've established.
Yes. Again, don't forget to join us on Saturday, December 4th. Not next Saturday. Saturday, December 4th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you come next Saturday, you may be by yourself. But Saturday, December 4th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. That's when we're doing the next edition of Coffee and Conversation. And we look forward to answering your questions at that time. That you're going to send those questions into the whatnowmovement@gmail.com. Email those questions over.
Send the topics in.
Topics, questions. Absolutely. If you have a curveball that's really difficult, direct that to Maisha Hoy. She'll be happy to answer that for you.
I will find a SME to answer that question if I cannot. Absolutely. That's what we're here for.
That's
Challenge accepted.
All right. So that is our time for today. We certainly want to thank you for watching us on Coffee and Conversation. And please do us a favor and share this with someone who could benefit.
That's
You
right.
know, your entrepreneur, author, career professional people that are looking to take things to the next level and they need to pivot. Make sure you share this with them. Until next time, have a great one.
Bye-bye.